Hey everybody, and welcome to TPG Reviews. Right now I'm going to give you my review of last episode of Rupaul's All-Star Drag Race Season 3. Now it started off with the girls in the workroom, and they were all talking about the loss of Morgan McMichaels, etc., etc. And then RuPaul came in and he told them that the main stage challenge was going to be a sort of remake of VH1's Divas Live, and he assigned each one of the girls a character, and then he told them that the other part of the challenge was going to be what they call redemption, where they got to rewear one of their worst outfits of all time on the show. And trust me, there's been plenty. But anyway, long story short, let's tell you who was assigned to what. Milk was assigned to be Celine Dion, which was a little awkward to me. I didn't understand it, but we'll get more to that in a minute. He then assigned Trixie Mattel to be Dolly Parton, which I thought was perfect. Chi Chi DeVayne to be Patti LaBelle, another great one. He assigned Bibi Zahara Bonet to be Diana Ross. Thorgy Thor to be Stevie Nicks, so another one I thought was odd. Aja to be Amy Winehouse. And Kennedy Davenport to be none other than Janet Jackson, and of course Shangela to be Mariah Carey, or as I like to call her, Mariah Scary. So anyway, he assigned the divas, and then they had to learn their songs, and they had to be in character and really embody the character and put on this tribute to RuPaul. So basically, the next scene you see them working with Todrick Hall, and if everyone knows Todrick from YouTube as well as everywhere else. And he was their choreographer, and he was showing them numbers. And all throughout this, you kind of kept seeing Thorgy Thor really in her head, talking about how she felt like she'd been sabotaged, that Stevie Nicks was hard to do compared to like Diana Ross and all the other characters that people were given. And she just kept going on and on, getting more and more in her head, you know, and she was trying to figure out a way to stand out. And Todrick was picking people to be in other people's shows, and Thorgy finally did step up and volunteer to be in other people's numbers. So they got all that together, and then they show them backstage, and they're sort of talking about, you know, what they thought, how they were viewed on their seasons and things like that. And then they got ready for their show. And the show, you know, RuPaul came out and he introduced the judges, which of course is always Michelle Visage and Carson Kressley. But the guest judges this week were Vanessa Williams, who I love. Vanessa Williams, you know, that woman is so beautiful. She has never aged, and I will always think of her as the phenomenal Wilhelmina Slater on Ugly Betty. And the other one was Todrick Hall. So it's, oh, and I forgot, oh my God, I forgot one of the people. He assigned Ben de la Creme to be Julie Andrews. How can I forget Ben de la Creme is Julie Andrews? But we're going to get to that. So anyway, it started out with the first, you know, the girls all coming together and doing this, you know, opening number thing called Divas. And then then the first person you saw was Milk. I was trying to, my mind there. Milk as Celine Dion. And it was a little weird. He had like this really weird outfit on that I've never really seen Celine Dion wear. I had to kind of look it up myself. Had peanut butter around the neck, and he did the song Peanut Butter. And it was not the greatest standout performance I saw of the women. Did he look like her? Not particularly. Now, I do say his movements were very, very much like Celine Dion until the end when he took his shoe off and sang into his shoe. He's like holding it up like this. I didn't quite get that or understand what that had to do with Celine Dion, so it was a little awkward to me. Then Kennedy Davenport came out as Janet Jackson, and she didn't impress me much. First of all, she didn't know the words at all, and she didn't really look like Janet, and her movements were okay. They were kind of Janet-like, but not the greatest. Then you had Amy Winehouse, Aja, come out, and y'all, she looked just like Amy. She had Amy's look down, she had the lip, she had the eyelash, you know, the wings over here, the tips of her makeup. She had everything. She did a phenomenal Amy Winehouse. Chi Chi came out, and then she did Patti LaBelle, flawless. You know, she had the clicks and everything, all the great things that she does in her performances. Then you saw Trixie Mattel come out as Dolly, and she was perfect. She looked just like Dolly, and I don't think, of all of them, I think she was assigned the best next to Bibi and Bendela, because she looked like Dolly. She embodied Dolly. She moved a little bit more than Dolly, because Dolly doesn't really dance, so she put in some dance moves that probably Dolly would black her eyes out for because her boobs are so big. But she did a great job as Dolly. I really enjoyed her Dolly. And then next came who was it? Her? Let's see. Ben de la Creme is Julie Andrews, which I thought was wonderful. He was hysterically funny and just priceless Julie Andrews. Then you saw Mariah Carey, Shangela's Mariah Carey, and I thought she was really funny. She kind of made fun of the whole New Year's Eve thing that happened a couple years ago with her, and I thought that was absolutely funny, just hysterically funny, and she was perfect doing it, just absolutely funny. And then you saw, last but not least, you saw Diana Ross, which was BB's a hard one name. So they all did, and she did a flawless job. So all in all, and in between you saw Thorgy Thor as Stevie Nicks. Now let's talk about this. Her Stevie Nicks, I love the outfit with the boots and the skirt and the hair and the hat. She looked just like Stevie. But I kind of had to agree with her. There wasn't a whole lot she could do as Stevie Nicks, really. So I kind of did think she had a little bit of a handicap compared to the other people, because she just really didn't give it a lot as Stevie Nicks, and she didn't really paint to look like Stevie Nicks either, which the judges did get her for. So anyway, it went off, and then they called the bottom two, the top three and the bottom three. And of course, after they got them down and put everybody else safe, they decided to pick the winners of the top two as being Shangela and Bendela Krim, and the bottom two being Kennedy Davenport and Thorgy Thor. I absolutely agreed with this. I did agree with those two being the bottom for various reasons. And I love Thorgy Thor. I do. I absolutely love her. But so then they go backstage, and you just kind of see Milk. He has this meltdown, which I thought was kind of crazy, because he thought he should have gotten more credit and more praise for his Celine Dion. And I love you, Milk, but it wasn't all that. It wasn't as good as some of the other girls. I think Trixie Mattel should have got much more praise for her Dolly Parton, or Chi Chi for her Patti LaBelle. I mean, they were just so much better than his Celine Dion was. So I think that was a big thing in his mind, was he was better in his mind than he was on the show. But anyway, they then, Shangela and Bendela Krim, they talk to both Thorgy and Kennedy, and they kind of figure out what they're going to do. And then it goes back, and Shangela and Bendela Krim have to do a lip sync to Jump by the Pointer Sisters, which was so funny. It was cute on both parts, because Shangela was working it and Bendela Krim was working it. In one part, Bendela Krim starts making fun of her, and it was so adorable, so adorable. And Shangela won, and she won $10,000 as a tip. And of course, they both won really neat prizes when they both won the challenge. So then you find out that Shangela has decided to send Thorgy Thor home. Did I agree with this? I don't know, because I do like Thorgy, but out of the two, Kennedy didn't know her words. And even though she didn't know her words at all, and she didn't really give a lot, she didn't really dance like Janet. I do agree with what a lot of the judges said, that Kennedy was very much herself rather than Janet Jackson. So I think that she should have went home just for the sole fact she didn't know the words, where Thorgy Thor did know the words, and she did have the tambourine, a lot of things that Stevie Nicks had. Do I agree with it? No, but it wasn't my decision to make. So that is RuPaul's All-Star Drag Race this week. Tell me what you think in the comments. If you think Kennedy should have went home over Thorgy, or if you think Thorgy should have went home just like what happened, let me know. Keep me posted in the comments. Also, it looks like at the end of it, you see this really creepy thing with Chad Michaels and Alaska. So it looks like one of the girls might be coming back in the competition. Who knows? But anyway, that is my review of RuPaul's All-Star Drag Race Season 3. Take care, guys. Remember, hating is a disease, and some folks need to get well soon. Bye!